do when I'm not traveling the world?
What do you think?
Listen up! I'm only gonna say this once!
Time for some live oil painting. Time for some live oil painting.
Time for some live oil painting.
So,
Hit your pen, pour a drink, and dive into the chat to see what's running through the mind of the man who knows he's holier than thou. Saint Carlos, patron saint of oil paint.
Saint of oil paint.
This is Paint with a Saint.
what's up, everybody? Good to be back. I don't have my face on camera, but I can say hi over here. And I can say what's up over here. Getting back into this hockey fight painting. I did a little bit of a different style of video for the last session, getting all these tones blocked in, where it was like one of those videos where you just have the instrumental playing the whole time and it's like a time lapse. It was fun, and I'll probably do those in between live streams, to be honest, because it gives me a chance to paint without having to go through the rigmarole of setting up the stream. But anyway, let me give some shout outs here. Kennedy, nice to see you using my other account. I appreciate you being in the chat. Thumbs up for you. Ray Spears Music. What's up, Ray? Thank you for tuning in. How do you like your beautiful lamp? Ooh. Very exciting stuff today. So, what I want to do today is really focus on texture throughout here. And I doubt it's going to be like the final pass of texture or anything like that. But I just want to get some texture in the jersey just to get some painting in. I feel like I really need to make some art right now. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see my palette laid out here from the first couple sessions. Excuse me. Essentially all we're really worried about doing right now is just plugging in like some white dots. So you can see this brush as focus on this. It's like really like matted, something like that. And all I really need to do to make this thing sing. Oh, I need a little bit more light? Okay. We'll turn your brightness up on your phone, dude. I'm just kidding. Let me get my room light, and then I'll pump this one up a little bit closer too. Oh, come back. Oh, awesome. A little bit better? I feel pretty good about that. I'm blinded in here, so hopefully it translates on your end. Yeah, I'm gonna add the dots. That's what we're gonna be doing here. So basically, I'm just gonna take this brush that's stamped with some white and just come in with minimal pressure. And just kind of punch in some dots. Now the dots, I think you're speaking about Kennedy. That's more of like the black dots in the jersey texture. Hello, Victoria Mother Kowalski. That's more of like the black dots in the texture that I will be doing in a subsequent layer. This is just to take that original shape that was put in from the block in and bring it to a point where it's got a little bit more texture to it, and then push that block in back a layer. So, like I said, just kind of punching this in. Light pressure. Just getting some texture in. And then I'll put some concerted effort tonight into this Red Wings emblem right here. Thank you, Terry. If you don't mind me using your full Christian name. I don't know if you could tell by my voice, but I'm still sick. I took a test today. I don't have COVID, so that's good. But it's not fun being me today. Last few days actually has been kind of rough. Definitely like sinus infection is what we're guessing. Because I also tested for flu A and flu B, and nothing came up positive on either of those. So I was just smashing in some texture here. And after I get this first drop in here, I'll be able to start working on the red sections. Now, I don't think you can tell with this camera angle, but I still haven't finished like the rest of like the white on the uniform. Just this top portion of the jersey, because we were still trying to figure out the approach to all of this stuff. So maybe if I'm running out of things to do to keep this episode interesting, maybe I'll jump in and start plugging in some of those other areas. Isn't this rad though? Already getting a little something going on with these textural dots. Our previous session is still just a little bit tacky, so it's gonna be a little tricky going in, and I hope I don't mess anything up with my adding and pulling away of pigment here today. So, a little rule of thumb when you're doing texture disappears in shadow regions. So like this block right here of white dots feels the most unnatural to me, as does these in here. So I'm going to grab a brand new blending brush. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. Brand new blending brush, and we're gonna buff out a lot of those dots that we just put in there. And really just focus on the areas of the shadows of what to remove. Feeling a little bit better, eh? I'm glad you're having a great time in the chat, Kennedy. For those watching on the VOD that don't know, Kennedy's my eldest daughter. She loves watching the streams. So I let her log in on my grown-up account so that she can actually chat. Because, mercifully, YouTube limits chat ability for child accounts. So let her use mine. Mod. Keep messing that word up. My brain's not working while I'm sick. Modeling in textural effects there. Breaking up any big sloppy areas. Get this ridge right here, but not in those shadows. Not too shabby. Oops. Come through in this whole section. It's really going to help pull things in the foreground. The Hong Kong vibe on the track. Awesome. Yeah, this is Kennedy, Egypt is the worst. We loved Egypt. I think out of all the places we went to, Egypt is like in my top 2. I can't stop thinking about Mexico City and going back to Mexico City, but Egypt was pretty awesome. So on my palette here, look at this. This is all dry, so I'm gonna have to mix up the tone that we're gonna put in for those little sections on the red. And I'm gonna see if I can't find a brush. I might not have one today, but if I can find a brush that's smaller for those effects, might be helpful. Yeah, this one. So I'm going to mix up a tone here that we can use. What I want is a tone that's like lighter than what's there already, but still within the same like color family, obviously. So it's going to be in the reds. It's going to have a pinkish hue to it, but the value is going to be slightly lighter than the brightest value that's on there already. However, you don't want it to be white, because the effect is not going to work. The stamping effect is not going to work if it's white. It'll just look super glisteny or like shimmery, like glitter. But if I use, this is going to be a nice brush, I can already tell. Ooh, snap. But if I use this tone, I was having a little trouble translating. But yeah, if I use this tone, I'm going to put a little bit more alizarin crimson just to get a little bit more vibrancy in there. Because all that white that I mixed in really knocked down the chromatic value. Maybe I should pour some more out. So what's going on with you, Terry? How you been? What are you doing for Thanksgiving? What state will you be in for Thanksgiving? I'm going to Horror Slam. Ryan's gonna get me a ticket. The December show. Really looking forward to that. I've been wanting to go for so long. I tell this kid constantly about how much we were into underground wrestling growing up, and how we followed the scenes for a while and all that stuff. And I've been wanting to do Horror Slam for quite some time. See if we can't get this done. Very subtle. It might be too subtle for my taste, honestly. Maybe I should mix this up and just get crazy with it. How's that sound? Let's just do a really light pink. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, cool. Film Clash this past weekend. I'll be up for the day on Thanksgiving. I gotta work the rest of the weekend. Oh, right now. Cool, dude. The rest of your family's doing good. I haven't seen any of them in a long time. For all the obvious reasons. Not been around. What are you guys looking forward to eating the most? What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? I'm gonna guest film an episode on the show. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. To be able to have a camera that's moving a little bit would be so tight. Drop this down so we can work on here. Yeah, to be able to have somebody doing a handheld cam and to chat on stream, share stories and stuff, and catch up on stream, I think that'd be incredible. I love it. Love that idea. These are really subtle textures. It's scarcely showing up on the stream, but it's okay. It's more important for it to actually show up on my canvas than on the stream. I don't want to, like, for the other reasons, the artistic reasons, of course, for why you don't want to just use straight white for this effect, there is that, but I also don't want to use straight white for this effect because later on there's going to be a ton of, like, snow flying around on the ice from all of, like, the commotion of everything, right? So I definitely don't want to confuse this with that pass, because when I get to come through and add all those like white pieces of ice flying around, I'm going to be a lot more strategic with how we get to see those. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't super excited to get into this Red Wings emblem up here. Pretty exciting bit of detail to start working on that. And I could just pull out like a little small brush, and I don't have to finish it. Like, none of what we're doing to, like, in these first layers obviously is the final touches or anything like that, but I definitely think it would be nice to start working on cleaning it up and shaping out the stitching and whatnot. I need to a little bit finger paint. One of the benefits of having this canvas still be a little bit wet in the previous session is I can just kind of buff these shapes out with my finger. I'm going to reposition the camera so we can see up on the sleeve here. Cool. And we'll keep punching in texture up here. Looking nice. Got a little bit of some reflective texture in there now. I would love to come through with the grain of the jersey, but again, I think that's something that we should save for subsequent here. Yeah. So let me retrain the camera now onto the wings emblem, into the winged wheel. Yeah, some good detail in here tonight. Question: what phase in your paintings do you get more excited about? And also, what is your plan as far as technique to bring out the patching on the logos? So, for the patching, I'll show you right now what the technique is for that, what my technique is for that. I don't want to say that there's any one size fits all, but we'll do that right now. For my favorite part of the process, I do like what we're doing right now, which is putting in texture and dialing that in, because it makes it a little bit more, I don't know, it gets my adrenaline pumping. Figuring out the initial painting, blocking it all in with like rough shapes and creating the movement of light on the underpainting is normally my favorite. However, this particular painting style does not include that. Okay, I need to pull up a high-res logo of 2008. Quick. All right, so this will not be final of what I'm about to do, what we're gonna do here, but I want to show you a little bit of what my process is gonna be here. It's gonna be tedious AF. All right, hang on a second. Let me prop my phone up so I can see the chat. I'll stick so I don't rest my hand on wet paint. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at each subsection and imagine it as though it's stitched. So just start putting those stitches in one by one. I'm starting with the highlight edge here. There's going to be, because the lights are mostly coming this way, right? We're going to have a highlight edge. It's going to hit, we're imagining this is like a 3D embossed patch, right? So we're going to have the highlight is going to hit here. The shadow will be coming from underneath, or like the bounced light will be coming from underneath. I don't necessarily need to have the world's most dramatic bounce light on this or anything like that, but light moves in all directions, so it will be indicated in some way, shape, or form. Basically, I'll do this subsection first, and I'll do like all the highlights and all the shadows first, and then I'll move on to another area. Generally speaking, I would do like all the highlights first, and then all of the shadows later, and all the keystroke bright highlights after that, but I'll just kind of finish these two bars here. Give you the full preview here. I want to keep a really wet, like loose, you can see my palette here, a really loose, loose pigment. Very viscous, because I need it to pop up, like come off the tip of the brush relatively quickly, and I don't want to have to push or dig deep or anything like that. And then I will need to mix up the shadow section of that, so it's basically the exact same thing but with a little bit of like a grayer tone to it. I can use this a little bit for my last session, I think. Oh, nice, yeah. I'm just gonna make a smaller pile down here. The shadow for it. And I'm gonna paint right here really quick so I can just kind of show you like a zoomed in version. So, I should have done this before I made my brush all shadow color. That's alright, I'll just wipe this off and we'll do the white again. Okay. So if this is my area where I have my fabric, what I'm going to do is do vertical hash marks like this, and then come through with the shadow version, very close to the same pigment. The bottom. If you can see that, I don't know, hopefully that's showing up. And then we can like really dial in like little dark creases well after this phase. So for instance, like if that makes sense there. Hope that's translating. You might need to zoom in to see it, but basically that's the general concept of what we're going to do, and we're going to treat each section of the embroidery on the patch with those steps. Super shadows. Something to that effect. You can see on the stream it's picking up a little bit more detail. We're looking good. I want to grab a different brush to do this trick though, because this one's a little hard to control. So let me see what I have in the way. Liner. I'd rather use just like a tiny brown to be honest, but try with this liner first. Almost like a longer pinstriping brush. Just need to play off the tip of the brush. Also, I kind of want this to come to a really nice sharp edge. And this is a little bit more, like I said, like pinstriping, but I might be able to get this out of it. Let me see. Stash that brush and pull out a different one. And also, let me look at my. So these sections are like inset, and it's more of that like a satiny type of material, and then all the white is the embroidered stitching. So we're going to use that effect on all the white, and we're just going to make sure the inside pieces here are really smooth and flat. Oh yes. Okay. So coming back in here, keep working on the top edge. Just keep moving it forward. Kennedy, you still awake, or have you dozed off? I'm gonna make this a little bit more viscous. I'm gonna mix it with some more liquid because it's not dropping as cleanly as I would like. Better. Ooh. It's cool, man. It's definitely giving it some shimmer, huh? Giving that embroidery a little bit more sheen. Oh, that. You guys been watching Stranger Things? We've been trying to catch up. Like we're all the way, caught up through. We've seen everything, but we're on a rewatch, and we're almost done with the rewatch, just in time for the beginning of the last season. Comes out on my birthday this week. What's your favorite size brush to use over the years? I like a number 4 round. That's what I was using for all of the blocking on the foreground of this painting. I swear to God, I could do everything with this brush. Relatively big round, but the tip that you get out of it is so fine. I could be doing these. Let's do it. It's a little experiment. Let's do it. I was gonna say I can even do these little highlights with 4 round. I found a distributor that's about an hour away that has a ton of brushes. He said he has over 100 round brushes that he'd sell to me for $2 a pop. So I'm gonna drive out there sometime and see if I can't get my hands on the mother load. Let's see, we're shipping now. We'll pick up right. Just ease off the tip. There's a, I probably mentioned this before, Terry, but there's another camera upgrade I want to get to really be able to see these details as well as possible. Sony EV10, and they're constantly on sale on Marketplace, which isn't like, oh no, people don't want them, it's that people bought them and they don't have time for it. But being a daily streamer is a lot different than just being like, hobby photographer. this subsection is a mess because it was, literally the lock-in phase when I put that down. So I don't know if I'm ready to tackle that part of the winged wheel just yet. Let's see how this area is looking. I might be able to start putting in some dots. Let's give it a shot. I'm gonna call this. Actually, I gotta hit one spot, and then I'll call this for right now. This the patch here, just because I don't want to overdo it, because that layer underneath is still pretty darn wet, and I don't want to just make a mess out of it. So anyway, this shoulder here under the face coming down, let's see if we can put in some good jersey dots, meaning the holes in the jersey, not like a ripped hole, but you know what I mean, like the breathability holes they put in there. I'll show you. I'll try to run them along this ridge here. What's funny is I have the noise reduction on for streaming, and I wonder if it's making any of these tiny little dots and details obsolete for streaming because it's trying to remove the visual camera noise. If anybody knows cameras, you know what I'm talking about. The graininess. I think that's showing up on stream. Your stream, the closer you zoom in, the darker it gets. It's so strange because I'm not seeing that on my end. And I'm showing the camera now. The zoom that I did on this end here was just digital through my the Elgato Camera Hub software. Let me bring that zoom back out and adjust the camera here and bring the actual camera closer and see if that does anything. Yeah, like I was saying on my end, because I have a screen here that shows me how the stream's looking, and it looks great on my screen. But that means jack squat if you're not seeing it right. It's alright, next time you're up here, I'll show you the setup and you can help me dial stuff in. That was the move. Remember what you just did. Dope. Nice. Yeah, so essentially all I did is I just brought the camera closer. I didn't change the ISO or the shutter speed on my camera. I just brought it closer instead of using the zoom that was on the OBS software. I'm sorry, the Elgato Camera Hub software. I'm so inclined to do these little dots like random, but it wouldn't be random on an actual jersey. It would just be a texture, you know. So if you zoomed in, you'd see a whole lot more of it. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, I can zoom in on the stream. That's cool. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, I gotta, against all my other artistic instincts, I gotta make a more regular pattern with this dot texture. And I gotta get all those whites cleaned up down there too. But that's not a problem. Got a lot of time on here. Many more days. Clean up my mess. I've spoke about this before, that painting, best analogy I like to invoke is thinking about it like you're building a house. Like first you lay your foundation, then you put your walls up, then you paint, and then you decorate. You don't start with decoration. For this painting, I'm trying to just like finish like a little subsection before moving on to the rest, just so we can kind of get a preview of what it is we're trying to do with the entire piece, you know? So, having the foundation layer down, relatively dry, now we can jump in and start texturizing and really figure out how we want this to look, and then it'll just fly through with the rest of the other characters in the painting. Something else that I would love to do is get like the darkness over here of this player in the background. I think that would really set up this edge of the jersey. So I should plug in some pitch black right there. Let me grab a big old brush and I'll do that really quick. Not pitch black, that's a misnomer. I didn't really mean pitch black. I meant just an area of super dark. I will be using alizarin crimson and phthalo green to create a near black. So as you can see, alizarin crimson. I already have some phthalo green pulled out there. We'll mix up a near black, and it's going to be insane how much this makes all of this make sense once we get the darkness next to it in. And I'm not going to go crazy, I just want to get this little triangle area. Okay, so a little pile right here. Oh, it's so beautiful. So juicy. Look at that. Feels like black, don't it? Okay. Alright, let me just chunk in a nice section of dark over here so you can really see what's going on with our jersey. Did it do anything for you? No, it makes me happy. Nice. the day that I get to finally start doing like the portraits, faces, that's gonna be really fun. But I want to save that. I definitely want to save that. I want to get all the jerseys in, and maybe even work on the reflections of the face masks on the refs, and I think a couple of the players. Well, yeah, because at this era, I think they were all required to wear face masks. So Applicator's just missing his helmet, which is why we don't see that. But basically, the visors, getting all those in, I think will be really fun, really tricky. A little difficult to pull that effect off, and I look forward to that for sure. Just drop a couple of little black strokes in here. And this just sets up the rest of the jersey. So now we got some dots next to the lights, and we can really understand the value structure there. I kind of just leave that black there as that. Not too terrible, huh? Okay, let me come in and clean up the whites that are down here and work on the texture in that part of the jersey a little bit more. More dots, you know, similar to what we did in the white section there. Finger paint away a good amount of this. See how it's still a little bit wet from before. Yeah, that did the trick. It's wild to me how just like tiny adjustments really make things sing. All right, so what tone do I want to use for that? Like my deeper tone, definitely not black, but kind of like my deeper tone, which was alizarin crimson mixed with transparent red like oxide. Let's see, let's do a little bunch of them here. My word, how cool is that? Make sure not to get too dark with these dots. Wish I just had a stamp. A regular dot pattern. If I did hockey fights exclusively as paintings for a living, I would totally come up with all sorts of stencils and stamps and things I can use to shorten the creative process. Here, at home, painting for fun, nah, not necessary. This is having a hard time picking up the paint because there's so many wet layers on there right now, so maybe I'll just do a few more over here and then call it. Yeah, this is nice. When I back up and see the full painting, I can definitely see the details starting to come together. Just got a long way to go. You know, so as far as the Osgood and the Patrick Waugh fight, yeah, there are hockey fights I can think of that would have been fun to paint. this was just such a beautiful composition that was so like a Renaissance painting that I was like, I have to do it. I'm not joking when I say, here, I'll just hold my phone up to the camera, you'll see. I have a folder of hockey fights on my phone. I have a folder of hockey fights on my phone and also Renaissance paintings. So I can look at like the compositions and the layouts of these different characters and different interactions. And it's just so awesome. Like, it's just such a great composition, man. Can't get over it. But yeah, I could definitely, I definitely can do an Osgood-Wah painting. I did have the, like, fleeting concept of, like, maybe I should paint a whole series of hockey fights, and that could be, like, my thing for a while. I love the idea. I love the poetry of a good hockey fight. Like, you know, what it stands for, why they're doing it. Yeah, man. If this doesn't get boring, if I don't want to pull my hair out any more than I haven't lost yet, by the time we're done, maybe I'll set up another hockey fight after this one. Working off camera there for a minute, huh? Alright. Let me come back here a little bit, do a little bit more texture up in this part of the jersey. Shall we? We shall. So like I said, I've been sick for 4 days now, or in bed for 4 days now. I felt the sickness come on a lot earlier than that. It's been like a full week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. But man, when I get up in the mornings, it is brutal. And I've just been so like stir crazy, cabin fever, whatever you want to call it, just sitting like held up in bed. It reminds me of when I had COVID and I had to be in quarantine isolation at that time. But like, I had a migraine at the same time as a sinus infection the other day, and it was like the worst thing ever. It was absolutely terrible. I don't like how these dots are looking, so I'm gonna bury them with some more of this white here. And then change the tone a little bit. But it just keeps adding more and more texture, you know? So, no problemo. Studio space I'm working in my apartment is very small. So I don't have the ability to stand up, walk back, you know, really assess things, figure out, you know, if it's all dialed in where I want it, yada yada. So it's kind of fun to have my phone with me to use as my monitor of whether or not it's working as like a full piece, right? I glance at my phone and it shows me like the zoomed out view. those in and just kind of mash them in with this brush. Boom. Nice. Do a few more. I'll just finish this little area out in here and then we'll call it for the night. Nice. I think I should clean up this edge, yeah, before we call it a day, because it's really like choppy right there. Again, none of this was designed to be last pass already or anything like that. I just want it to look nice, you know. Let me just pull a cleaner line for this whole top edge. I just dropped my hand directly into that black paint there. All stick. Don't you go slipping. Are you gonna add blood on the ice? That's a decent question. I don't know. I hadn't considered that at all yet. And the answer is maybe, because the area where their skates are, it's like the camera focus is pretty tight on those skates. So like there's like I don't want to move my camera right now, but the distance between the bottom of the skate that's touching the ice and then where it starts to blur out in the picture is very close to each other. So I don't know how much blood would show on the ice, but when it comes time to add those types of effects or like to make those decisions, I will know better what kind of painting we're looking at and whether that's useful for it. Because if so, then I'm going to have some blood on the applicator's knuckles as well, throwing the punches, you know. Or maybe like he can have like a bloody lip or a bloody nose. We can take departures from the actual photograph, you know. And quite frankly, because I didn't take this original photo and I never asked for permission to use it, I think we need to make as many departures as possible. There's a thing in art where if you alter something 20%, then technically you're not violating somebody's like trademarks or copyrights. But I like to think that the photographer that took this picture would be honored to see me do this in oils. That makes me think that I'll be okay when I finally track this person down and show them, hey, look, I painted this. What do you think? I don't think he'll be like, I'm gonna sue you. But yeah, that might be cool. Some blood on the ice. A little something at least. I was saying before, I don't really see this as a violent scene because of the poetry of it, because the ballet of it all. It just feels like this is part of hockey. Well, it's part of hockey, we know that, but like even like violent scenes in Renaissance paintings, it still has like a poetic element to it, right? You don't look at it and go, oh, it's so grotesque. It's nothing like that. It's like, wow, look at that, it's so beautiful. Or like, wow, that's so expertly painted. Like, you know, I don't know. Do you, when you look at a painting, are you more interested in how it's put together? Like how the strokes go down and how it's painted? Or are you more interested in the narrative that's in the painting? Sound off in the chat. I'm just going to kind of bury extra in there. And before we sign off on this, I'm going to clean up a couple more little edges. Finger paint away from where the white dots ended up on the red there. Could use a scumbling brush for this, or even like a blending brush, but fingers work too. Fingies work too. Now, there is an element of this that is worth noting. Right now, I'm putting texture in just like where I see spots that I can put it. I might not want all this texture. I might find it better to dial the texture in at a later step in the painting so as to move the eye around. So if like the winged wheel is really sharp but everything else is kind of blurry, it just kind of pulls your eye in that direction. Excuse me. To do that, I'm gonna put the textures in, and then I'll glaze them out later if I don't, want the. So rather than just adding it at the end where I want people to look, I'm gonna texturize the heck out of the jerseys and then go through and just like kind of blur out and remove certain areas. If you follow. call that for tonight. Good, healthy little texturizing session, huh? Let me back this camera up. Well, let's see what you said. I'm more interested in the creation process, more about what it took to get there rather than the finished product. I find it more appealing knowing the truth than creating my own narrative. That's cool. I feel that. I get it. For sure. I think we should hit the DIA together sometime. Maybe get lunch in the Kresge Court and look at some paintings together and see how they make us feel as a team. I do enjoy doing that. I've had the pleasure numerous times of going to the museum with artists and just kind of like walking around talking, and I think you would have fun doing that. See, I always do this. The last moment of the stream, I always make some kind of dumb mistake. And then it causes me to keep going. Never know when to walk away. I've also been doing some more horror writing. For those who don't know, I write horror novels, and there's a book I've been working on for over 3 years now that I just keep forgetting about. I don't make any progress. It just sits there. I know that I need to be working on it, but I just don't feel like it. And then time will go by, and I'll be like, oops, I probably should do some writing, and then I'll be too intimidated to jump back in because I'm like, all right, well now so much time has passed. Blah, blah. Anyway, I've been laid up in bed. I've been sick. Gave me some opportunity to look inward and be like, you have a job to get done here, so start writing. So anyway, I've been doing some more of that, and I need to figure out the best way to release my new book in like today's era. I will definitely release, hard and hardcover and paperback versions of it, but it might behoove me to do something like live readings, maybe not live readings, but like reading as the author on like TikTok or something. Maybe pick like a good scary scene or a decent chapter that really sells the concept of the book, and then just like kind of read it dead-eyed into the camera. I think that might be a good way to sell, to stir up interest, if you will. But it's been fun getting back and actually doing some writing. And I still have 50 hours of writing to go, but it's a really cool story that I'm working on, and I think everybody will enjoy reading it. Here I go making mistakes again. I just don't know when to stop the stream. Alright, let's just call it before I make any more oopsies. Thanks for coming through. Hope you didn't miss my ugly mug. I'll put a camera on my face next time. I look like crap because I feel like crap, so I didn't want to show my face today, but it's been super fun painting. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video. Give us a subscribe if you like the channel concept, and set up notifications if you can, and you'll be able to hop in the chat with us next time. It was awesome hanging out, Terry. It always makes me feel like I'm hanging out with you in person whenever you're in this chat, so that's cool. And kind of be as well past asleep by now, I'm sure. But shout out to her as well. Alright, cool. Thanks, guys. I will chat with you later on.